Welcome to T.Light coaching, where knowledge is imparted and practice strive. In today's class, we're going to consider one of the important aspects of mathematics that students preparing for external examination needs to pay attention to, and that is application of quadratic. I'm very sure quadratic equation is known, we've heard about it before, but when it comes to the application, the student normally fail this aspect because they don't pay attention to it very well. So I'm going to consider a question under this, and I'm going to explain it to you. So the question we have is, for what value of y of expression y squared plus 2 all over y squared minus 3y minus 10 undefined? Anytime you see any question that ends with undefined, don't get confused. It's one of the simplest questions you're going to come across in mathematics, and what I expected to do is to equate the denominator of the expression given to you to be equals to 0, then you get the value of the unknown. So let's see what I'm trying to explain. So we have y squared minus plus 2 all over y squared minus 3y minus 10. I said that whenever you have a question that ends with undefined, what you have to do is to equate the denominator of the expression given to you to be equals to 0. So I'm going to equate this denominator to be equals to 0. Y squared minus 3y minus 10 equals to 0. So now that we have equated it to be equals to 0, we now have a quadratic equation, and I'm very sure you know that in solving quadratic equation we have three major methods. We have factorization method, quadratic formula method, and we have completing the square, and we can apply any of these three methods to solve this particular question on the board to get the value of y. Okay, so I will be using factorization method. So let's move on. So to use the factorization method, you multiply these two together, y squared multiplied by minus 10, which will give you minus 10 y squared. Then you look for two values of this, two values that will give you minus 10y squared, that either the addition or the subtraction will give you minus 3y, so that we're going to use the two values to replace minus 3y here. And if you look at some of the things we have now, we have minus 10 multiplied by y squared will still give us this, but either the addition or the subtraction will not result to what we have here. And we have, if we have minus 2y multiplied by 5y, will also give us this, and either the addition or the subtraction will definitely give us this. Okay, so once you get what we give you, what is at the center, you replace it with it. But one thing I want to pay attention to, that this part I just showed you is because I'm explaining, it's not needed in your calculation. There is no mark for it. Is that clear now? Okay, so we're going to have y squared minus 5y plus 2y minus 10 equals to 0. So after you have this, then put it into brackets. So you now solve each bracket one after the other. So what is common here? In the first bracket, we discover that y is common. So if we bring y out, we'll be left with y minus 5. And second bracket, what is common? 2, right? So if you bring 2 out, you'll be also left with what? Y minus 5 all equals to 0. So since the first bracket is also the same with the second bracket, we are going to pick one of the brackets and we'll combine these two together also. So we have y plus 2, y minus 5 equals to 0. So either y plus 2 equals to 0 or y minus 5 equals to 0. So y equals to, when you take plus 2 to the other side, it turns to minus 2, or y, when you take minus 5 to the other side, it turns to plus 5. So therefore, since y cannot be negative, y equals to 5. Thank you.